Hi, this is Lou Covey, Editorial Director of New Tech Press and CEO of Footwasher Media, and I'm here with Michael Hagen, the CEO of a company called IDChecker out of the Netherlands. Michael, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Tell us a little bit about IDChecker. What does it do?
Well, we check ID documents, and then we need an image of a real ID document. So you have to scan it. You have to digitize it with a scanner, with a smartphone or any device you can use to digitize a document. And we check it for you, and we give all the details on the image. We give it back to you.
Okay, so I could take somebody's driver's license to make sure it's really theirs. I could take a picture of it with my iPad or my smartphone.
That's right.
And then I just send it to IDChecker?
Yeah, well, you need an interface to send it to us, or so you need an app on your iPhone. Or if you are our customer and you want your employees or your customers checked, you can use your website as an interface to upload the record, or just display a QR code, which you can take with your app, and then we know who the ID is for. So the customer is taking the picture with his smartphone of the QR code. We know who it's for, and then they take a picture of their ID document, and then we'll send it through the system to us, and we give back all the information to you, the customer.
So how do you do this? I mean, is this a piece of software or what?
Yeah, it's the funny thing about it, it's eyeballs and machinery as well. So we try to do as much automatically as possible. An OCR engine to recognize all the characters on a document to see what kind of document it is, and then we read the document, so we make it analog again from digitized document to Latin characters, and then we run some algorithms on them, and we give all the information back. And if the information is not correct, we will tell you that the information is not correct, and it's either a forgery, or it's a totally fake document, or it's just the image quality is too bad to say anything about the document.
Do you ever miss?
We guarantee our customers that if we check it with our eyeball, so we have document experts in the office as well. They are former immigration officers who worked for over 15 years at a border, and they eyeball the documents as well if necessary. So if we can't run an algorithm on them, we will have document experts eyeballing the document to see if there's a photo substitute or a different font type or anything they can find in a document what might be not okay, and then we give the answer back.
And what's the turnaround time for this kind of information?
Well, it's depending on the type of document you send to us.
Well, let's say I send you a passport.
Yeah, if you send your passport to us, you will have an answer within 10 seconds.
Wow.
It's all web service and XML driven. Highly secured, so we are ISO 27001 certified, so that's information security and business continuing planning. It's an ISO standard, and we work for some financials, so it has to be really secure. If you want us to eyeball the document as well, so if you're not really feel comfortable about the decision, or upfront you don't feel comfortable at all, you can just mark it as okay, please send it to a document expert for us as well. And it can take up to 2 hours, but most of the times we give you an answer back within 15 minutes, but it's all manually work they do then. So it's if we can run the algorithm.
That's a real-time operation.
Yeah, it's a real-time operation.
Okay.
Yeah.
How much does something like this cost?
It's depending on the volume you do, of course, but it can be from $60–70 up to $3 for a check, depending on the algorithm. If there is an algorithm, it's easy for us to check it. So that's a low cost.
From 60 to 70 cents to $3.
Yeah.
Per check.
Per check, and it's a per check on-the-go payment.
Okay. So why do we need this?
Well, you might need it to because we are going more and more online, and we do more and more online transactions. And you're not sure who's the one who is behind the computer. So you know a lot about your customer. You can go to Experian or to TransUnion or Equifax, and you can get a lot of data of this person, but you don't know who is pressing this button. Well, we're not going to tell you who is pressing the button, but if you individualize than transaction, because fraudsters are only interested in mass and they're not interested in you as a person. So to be you tomorrow on the internet is really easy for me. I can be you with Twitter or Facebook, the second, the third, or the fourth in row with your name. But to be you, and I have to also give them my ID document to be you, is a lot harder. So you can protect yourself more and more in the online world. And we really, or our dream is, my dream is that we realize in a few years' time that we want to protect ourselves and get an e-ID and to be anonymous as well. But that's a new story.
Yeah, that's something we'll have to talk about a little bit later. So there's an application as far as e-commerce other than the obvious application of human resources.
Yeah, human resource, because we can also check right to work, for example. We do it in Europe for a lot of countries. We check if there is a right to work as well. So does this set of data give you permission to work in the Netherlands or in the US? And to see if you're not an illegal worker. In Europe you got a fine of 8,000 euros for it to employ somebody who is an illegal worker. But you can also think of money transfer. We've got some companies who do money transfer, and they have to check by law to see if it's not anti-money laundering and if it's not a financing of terrorism. So they have to check this person's identity, and they always need to ask for an ID document for it. But also you could think of sites as eBay, where they want to know if they have good sellers, like if they are not fraudsters or whatever. To be an online retail bank, we've just contracted in Europe a bank who's going to start an online retail bank, and they have to verify by law their customers as well, and they don't have the knowledge in the house to check all these IDs. They have the partners who process it, but for me it's only they copy it and they don't do anything with it anymore, where we ask them to copy it but don't make a hard copy of it, but just make a digitized document of it, and we will check it for you and we give all the details back that's on the document as well. So we give back the expiry date, the date of birth, the gender, the surname, the given names, document number, and they can all cross-reference it with their own databases. So it's a more reliable check. Okay.
So we've got human resources, e-commerce, and banking.
Banking, financials, yes.
So this is a fairly extensive program that you've got here.
Yeah.
Are there any? Is anyone actually getting kind of upset about this kind of thing? Because I don't know what it's like in Europe, and maybe you can tell us. But in the United States, checking a person's identification is a politically touchy subject, very politically touchy, to the point where they don't even want to think of the idea that you have to have a real identification to get a job. I know that problem exists in Europe. It exists everywhere. Is it as touchy there, or is this something that maybe people could use this to get used to the idea?
I think it's even more touchy in Europe than it is in the US. In the US there is still a lot of data about you available, like an Experian, for example. They are a credit reference. In Holland, you really need to need to do some checking on a person to ask about creditworthiness or something like it. Like here, if you've got your social security number, they have a whole list for you what they can tell about you. And about ID documents, and we've got a European law that protects the people for privacy, etc. And they're really strict on it, and so we know the issue about well, we shouldn't ask for it or etc. But sometimes companies are just obliged to take an ID, to copy it, to verify it, and I always say you can be really hard on to me to say, well, I'm not going to give you my digitized ID document, or what are you going to do about it? But companies who ask for it, they are on the stock exchange, or so they really have to keep up their name. So they only do it to fulfill the rules, And then I ask, and what do you do if you go to a hotel? They ask you for your ID as well, and they ask you for your credit card as well. Do you ever think about what you are doing at that moment to hand over these cards? They found out in London, I think it was 2 or 3 years ago, there was a massive fraud with ID cards, and finally they found out where it came from. It came from the local pizza shop, who were collecting all the names of the people and the credit card numbers on the customers gave to them. So we really think hard of it. I'm not going to give it to you, but we spoil a lot of our data all over the web, not knowing and not thinking about it. So to me, we should realize in a few years' time we should protect ourselves, and it would be good to have third trusted parties who protect our identity, and where I can even be anonymous with. So if I want to think of a MasterCard or a Visa card or an Amex, who already know everything about me. But then now when I do online shopping, I have to leave my name, I have to leave my address, I have to leave my credit card details, I have to leave my CSV code, and then they know everything about me. But we never think, oh, this online shop, what will it do with my data? Yeah. Well, as long as I get the goods, it's fine with me. But if they are hacked, all the details are gone. And if I'm able to give them just a number, and the number doesn't say anything about who I am, and they have to check, am I over 18, for example, they just got a number and they check it with the third trusted party if this number is over 18, and they get back a yes or no. Well, that's the near future, and I don't think we are that far yet, but that's our dream, to play a little piece in that big puzzle to verify this ID document.
Okay. One last thing. What kind of companies, can a small company take advantage of this?
Yeah, we have like small companies and big companies. It's just because you pay per check. Of course, the big companies, which huge volume, they pay every month what they have done. And if you just want to start with us working, and you think, okay, I want to check 100 people or 1,000 people this year, you buy a bundle of 1,000 checks, and then we just take off every check we have done for you, and just you order a new one. So if you're a small or a big company, it doesn't matter to us. Everybody is welcome.
Excellent. Well, Michael, this has been very interesting. Thank you for spending the time with us, and we're looking forward to seeing what new things you're going to come up with.
Okay, thank you very much.
This has been Lou Covey with Footwasher Media. Thanks for listening.